Welcome to Tanks Invest. We're talking about investing, finance, and professional development. As a recording time of 10:14 a.m. on Eastern Time, Ethereum coin trading $3,158, down about 1.20% so far. As you can see clearly on the overall crypto market, we are laying at the respective consolidated level that we have identified for the respective assets. And is clearly displaying that in front of our key coins on both Bitcoin and Ethereum. And on the altcoin side of the house, it's kind of a mixed bag right now, knowing the fact that they're more prone to volatility, right? And collectively, we've been keeping tabs on the daily news and obviously the factors that has been triangulating into a relatively volatile week so far, right? Ever since the Fed's minutes came out about the December meeting, seems like they are going to be pumping the brakes onto obviously the quantitative tapering, right? And they are going to be shaving the stimulus checks going forward, obviously shaving into the corporate additional expenditure that will subsequently hinder that profitability margin going forward while applying the comparable debt instrument that they had in the past, right? So with the high interest payment, driven by the spike in the yields, right? The 10-year yields yesterday spiked to 1.81%, which is a historical record high. And to do that is basically to triangulate as Jerome Powell and the Fed are trying their best to basically rewire the U.S. economy in a monetary circulation perspective to try to revive the country as all over again, right? To basically reappreciate, if you made the U.S. dollar, which we have been printing money for the last 2.5 years now. So someone needs to do something to pull the brakes, right? But when you do that, it's gonna have obviously negative correlations to the overall market, right? So that's something that we are going through. I wouldn't say it's a crash or a correction. This is just one of the maneuvers that the Feds are doing, delicately or not, like the way, however you want to, depict it. But I think, they are doing what they have to be doing for us to not further depreciate the U.S. country as a whole, right? So that's, one of the, tactical perspectives on why they're doing what they're doing. Right. In addition to that, with respect to the Kazakhstan power shutdown, right? As you know, Kazakhstan is the second largest country to be mining Bitcoin. So when you shut off their electricity, you shut off their energy, like how on earth are you going to be mining crypto when it's already demanding a relatively high electricity power for you to do so? So with that hindrance, also put some obviously negative headwind onto the overall crypto market. In addition to that, which is more subsided now, the third factor that we know is the Omicron, right? We know that specifically the cases are surging domestically, right, and specifically just for the East Coast region. On a daily basis, there's like six digits, 100,000 plus of residents in the tri-state area, being identified having Omicron or some sort of a COVID Delta variant, if you may. So another negative triangulations. And in addition to that, another recent news that I'm also seeing is with respect to the Evergrande. Seems like there is a relatively large hindrance in the real estate ecosystem in China. That there has been multiple defaults that we've heard on the media front. And it seems like despite that, a lot of the Chinese whales, if you may, they have to be selling some of their real estate property or on a write off, or to a point that they actually have to sell their crypto as well to replenish their balance sheets, right? So they do a lot of sector rotations with or portfolio allocations shift within their portfolio as well to just basically rebalance, right? And that's also another hindrance as well, right? So obviously we are living in this wild west type of ecosystem right now, and the technical is what's triangulating all of these factors, like both on the macro perspective but also on the micro perspective, while stitching the psychological affectations that we're seeing among investors. Okay, so let me just look into the news to see if there's anything that's really worth mentioning before I dive in. I'll say collectively there are some interesting news. One is on CNBC about 19 minutes ago. It's a more of a trivial one. It says a Tesla owner, he mines up to $800 a month in his car. That's pretty interesting. Seems like he's able to, I guess rewire his computer in Tesla, which is, it's a computer car basically, onto mining cryptocurrencies $800 a month. That's not terrible investment if you know the technological infrastructure that goes in. And then there's some other news that's really talk about with respect to just more NFT sales. It seems like there's an article that talks about Rarible launches tools to block risky Ethereum NFT sales ordered on OpenSea. So it seems like obviously Rarible is a coin, and it's a ticker RARI, and they're basically trying to compete directly against Ethereum. And one of the propositions that they're doing right now is to go against the Ethereum-based NFTs. Interesting to see some competitive dynamics in play. And then some other articles, this really just more regurgitation, talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum hits 3 months low. How low can the crypto drop? So just more like technical related news. Nothing's really worth mentioning. And then one that's really jumping off the page out of here is on Bazinga about 22 minutes ago. Talk about Ethereum whales move 14,990 Ethereum off Gemini. So that's worth about like 49 million, 48.3, if you do the math correctly. So interesting whale activity. So let's just dive straight into the technicals. According to the time of 10:20 a.m. on the Eastern time, we're hovering exactly at that identified level at the 3,150, right? And we are just gliding away. We are extreme oversold at 28 out of 70, so very oversold. So we know this. It seems that we are slowly forming a curvature right now, which makes sense, right? Because of the bounce that we've had. And yesterday, because of the rates hiked to 1.81% at one point, I was looking at the needles like, wow, that's a pretty high number. It completely, have that anti-correlation effect to drop the market, and Ethereum dropped to 3,000 at that point, right? And what are the next level to look out for? Obviously, 3,000 all over again, but 3,000 is not a real level. The real level is at 2,850. That's the next level that will drop down to if there was some other black sheep events happening again, right? So something to look out for, but it seems like we are already at rock bottom. And we will need a lot of people collectively to be selling on a loss for us to get further down. So we are within one of those populations, right? So are we thinking about selling collectively? I think for me personally, no. I'll just have my cash reserve, which is again 30%, to buy if we actually get down there. So for your insurance purposes, I think maybe putting a limit order 2,850 might make sense. But I really don't think that's going to happen. That's like really, really not logical because we're already drilling oil. We are literally drilling the ground at the moment. So with respect to Bitcoin, is currently reviving up, right? We are bouncing from the 40,000, but right now with the 41,500, with the 29, so comparable. I think right now it is a buy area right now, in my opinion. We've sold out quite significantly right now. This is so the next level to look out for would be obviously the 40, right, and then the 37,500 from here. Dogecoin down about 1%. Anywhere from current level to the bottom, technically at the 1450 is still good. Right now it's 33 out of 70, so it's not terrible. Cardano is up about 0.76%. Anywhere from the 119 is a good level. I really don't see 102. Maybe if we actually crack this level, 115 would be the next level, and that will be a relatively sharp one for us to come back up. Solana is we bounced from exactly 133. So this is exactly the technical speaking the truth, right? We are at the 33 out of 70, so still not terrible. But obviously, if you bought in the 133, that was like when we were at the 28 out of 70, so very oversold at that point. So next level then we need to get up to is 155, right? So again, 155, 133, 113 from here. XRP is at the 75 right now. We're basically in between, right? In between the 78 and the 69. So right now, still not terrible with the 35 out of 70, just at the level of oversold. Polkadot is down about 1.56%. Current level is getting a little bit better than days before. I would say anywhere from current level all the way to 23 will still be a good level. ALGORAND's down about 1.75. As we go down, 136 to below would be a better level for us. Shiba Inu's, wow, it's so beautiful that the technical is really coming into fruition. That right now in the strike zone, I would say, well, start chipping maybe 2 to 5% of your portfolio, of your cash reserve. I think not a terrible idea to incur some risk on Shiba Inu right now with 35 out of 70 extreme oversold at the moment. MagTag is up about 0.08%, 175 to 143 from here. AVAX is oh, nice. We are exactly at where we're gonna be bouncing. So we're gonna come down to 80, right? 81 to be exact, right? So technical speaking, the truth never lies all over again. We're at the 35 out of 70. So yeah, not terrible. We're $3 away right now. So I think AVAX are coming together nicely. But obviously, don't go crazy. 81 to 60 is still a good level to incur risk. Luna is selling as expected with the 40 out of 70 right now. So again, wait for the 62 to 52 to 45 from here. And respect to elrond, we are crazy oversold right now. Let's see how oversold we are. We're like on the line. We're at the 30.09 out of 70. So very oversold. I think it's still a good level to incur risk. So obviously as we go up, like the next level we need to watch out for will be somewhere around 188. Basically as we broke 190. And to 170. So we do have a large drop. I don't really foresee that to be happening. So right now it's not terrible to incur risk. Obviously small amount, 5% cash reserve would be pretty good. In respect to risk management, these are levels to identify so far for the respective coins. Let me know if you have any specific questions on these ones. It's definitely painful to be, enduring pain for like basically a month and a half so far, especially on the New Year's. But I think the country is trying to rewire itself to get back on the horse, if you may, to revive it back to before COVID. So when you try to do that at such a mass scale, obviously there's going to be some hurdles. Obviously it's going to have some pros and cons that they have to outweigh, right? So we are just going through those hurdles, and for those actually can capture logic and, while filtering out all the emotional roller coasters are going to be rewarded royally. I think this is one of the biggest bull market that we are going to be seeing going forward. I know it doesn't look like it, but remember, buy when it's on a discount, buy when it's on a huge panic, fear-mongering mode, and sell when everybody's greedy, right? So that's it for this morning. Let me know how it goes, and take care.